this is Russ. What am I doing inside? If you never saw any of our winter e-bike videos, this is what it looks like. Yeah, what am I doing inside? Because I'm not crazy to be outside, that's why. Actually, I did go outside today. Yeah, Magicycle asked me to take some photos of one of my bikes. And so I woke up in the morning, went out there and said, man, is it hot out here? It was something like, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it was already like mid-70s already. I said, this is impossible to go out later on. So I rode my bike, got out to the area I wanted to take a photo of it at, took my photos and got out of there. That's when I said, that's the end of the rides for the day. I'm not going back out. Yeah. Let's talk about when you should not go out, okay? Yeah. When should you not ride your bike? Today would be a good day not to ride, at least in our area. I don't know how it is in your area, but I'm going to guess the rest of the U.S. is probably pretty hot too. Yeah. So, I mean, it's so hot, my glasses are fogging up. They are. They're actually fogging up. I'm sweating like crazy. Yeah, I sweat a lot in the first place anyway, but yeah, I've got the air conditioner on inside. I've got a fan running in the house right now on the ceiling fan just to circulate some air. The air conditioner's on, the fan is on. I'm still hot. I'm still sweating. Yeah, I mean, I sweat a lot anyway, right? You add this type of weather to it, it's downright dangerous to ride. Yeah. So I'm not riding today. I'm not riding tomorrow either. So you're going to get some indoor videos today and tomorrow. Now, by the time we hit Friday, might be able to go out. Maybe. Maybe. Today's Wednesday, in case you're wondering when I'm recording this. It's just too hot. Yeah, it's not safe to be out there. So I would recommend, if you're of my age, many of you guys are, yeah, don't go out. It's not worth it. Yeah. Sometimes you got to know your limitations, and heat is my limitation. I mean, I can feel the sweat already. You can probably see it. There's no keeping me cool. I mean, I'm literally sweating like crazy here. So I would have turned on a bigger fan, but then you'd hear it in the microphone, and that's not as good. So yeah, you're gonna have to just deal with me sweating. So that's one time you shouldn't be riding. Here's another time you shouldn't be riding. If you've got issues like a knee problem, a hip problem, something that prevents you from being able to stand properly or walk properly safely, even without a bike, yeah, you probably shouldn't be riding a bike yet. Yeah. When I fell the first couple times, yeah, I did more than once, it wasn't because of my inability to ride a bike. It was the inability to keep myself vertical and still hold a heavy bike as it was leaning towards the side with my bad knee. Yeah. So if you don't have the leg strength, or if you don't have the hip strength, or something that doesn't give you enough strength where you can hold yourself up along with a heavy bike as it's leaning towards you, don't go riding the bike. That's my suggestion. Yeah. I mean, as much as we'd like to get out there and ride, don't take the risk. You're probably going to go down. Now, let me tell you this, okay? The video that I call my senior video, I think it's something like you're over 60 and you want to ride an e-bike, something like that. That video has been seen over 1 million times, and I continually get comments on that video from people who are first time seeing the video. I'm still sweating. And yeah, I always see them commenting that they have issues with, their hips or their knees or their legs or their something, whatever it happens to be, just sweating like crazy. And I've told those guys too, sometimes maybe it's best to wait a little bit until you're stronger so that you can go out there. Because, when you fall, you don't fall because your inability to ride a bike. A lot of times you're falling when you're stopping. It's true. That's when I fell. It's when you stop. It's not when you're moving. The momentum moving forward was not a problem for me riding it. But the moment you stop, you gotta stabilize that bike somehow, right? Now, many of us lower the saddle all the way down so that once you stop, your feet are on the ground and you're still sitting on the bike. I don't do that, especially for someone who has knee problems. I needed that extension in order to actually help my rehab of my knee. I need a full extension on the pedal stroke, and that is the proper way to ride a bike, by the way. I don't care how many times people tell me, no, you shouldn't do that. You should ride it where you can straddle the bike. That is not proper riding technique, okay? You have to be pretty much fully extended with a little bit of bend in your knee, that is the proper height for riding a bike, okay? And especially if you're trying to rehab your knee. So when you stop that bike, you have to kind of hop off the bike. When I mean hop off, you step off the bike. So if your feet are on the pedals, step down from the pedals so you're on the ground, so you're not sitting, okay? Now, if you end up on the leg that's not strong, you're probably going to go down. That's what happened to me. I ended up on my left side. My leg wasn't strong enough. My knee wasn't strong enough. I couldn't hold myself and the heavy weight of the bike, and I went down. So I always say, if you got some type of physical ailment, wait a little bit longer until some of that stuff is a little stronger. Then consider riding your bike, okay? So don't go riding your bike just because you got a bike or just because you want to go ride a bike. Ride it when you have to. Now, that video, people have told me that I have single-handedly stopped them from buying an e-bike. And I've always said, good. I mean, here's a guy who has an e-bike channel. He's telling you, good, don't go buy one. I'm saying if you think that you're going to fall and you can't afford to fall and you're afraid to fall, then, yeah, maybe it's better that you don't buy the bike. Yeah, I've said this many times. Now, you might say, well, that's not being a good ambassador of e-bikes. Yes, it is. That's being a responsible person, okay? If you think you got the problem, don't do it. Yeah, it's not worth it, okay? Now, on the other hand, if your problem is temporary or something that you're rehabbing from and you're trying to get stronger and maybe you're okay to fall a little bit, you're still strong enough that a fall is not going to be so bad for you. Then yeah, maybe take the chance and take the bike, okay? But if you're really up there in age, you've got really brittle bones and you've got ailments that are happening, and your chances are you might fall, and then if you take the fall, it's going to be really bad for you. Still sweating. Yeah, maybe it's best not to ride the bike at that point. Now, what about the e-trike? All right, now this is the big news nowadays. Everyone's saying, I want an e-trike, I want an e-trike. Everyone wants to make an e-trike. Well, I tried an e-trike. I tried the rad e-trike, okay? The issue with the e-trike is this. If you're riding on level ground, I mean perfectly level ground, all right, no problem with the e-trike. If you're riding on a slightly tilted ground, you're going to feel like you're tilted and you're about ready to tip off of that bike, okay? Because think about it. All 3 points of that bike, those 3 tires, are going to have to stay on the ground. And if the ground is tilted, 10 degrees, 12 degrees, whatever degrees it is, it's tilted to the left maybe, you're going to be tilted. Yeah, you're not going to be straight. You're going to be kind of like this, and you're going to kind of feel like, hey, I'm going to fall, okay? That is the one thing that I didn't think too much about. Now, I knew that e-trikes can tip. If you make a fast turn, you can tip on 2 wheels, and then you just go over, okay? But even on unlevel ground, but all 3 wheels touching the ground, you kind of tilt like this, okay? Or you're tilting the other way. It's a sensation that you got to get used to, okay? So if you get the e-trike, remember too that that's not a cure-all for everything either, okay? There's some riding technique you have to learn, all right? So I'm just kind of give you some warnings of when you should maybe not consider bike or e-trike, okay? When else should you not ride your bike, all right? Maybe riding at night is not so good for you. Yeah, now a lot of people ride at night. We've got lights, right? We got headlights, we got tail lights, we got reflectors on our wheels, we got all this stuff. We got, maybe a bright vest. But sometimes riding at night, there's still hazards that you don't see very well. Pitfalls might be stuff like what do you call it? See, this is where the senior moment happens, where the memory is gone. It won't kick in until a little bit later, and then I'll say, oh, there it is, okay? Potholes. There it is. Potholes, okay? It's harder sometimes to see potholes. If you hit a pothole while you're riding your bike, that's not so good, okay? You can go down. Now, I know that, and you guys are probably sick of me talking about this event that's coming up on Labor Day weekend, Bike the Drive. They call it Bike the Drive because it's Lakeshore Drive. You bike Lakeshore Drive, okay? So that's going to happen. But the first thing they tell you is look out for the potholes because Chicago's got a lot of them. Yeah, if your bike goes into a pothole, you're going down, all right? Got to watch out for that, okay? And if you're at night, it makes it even harder, okay? Now, I would say if you're going to ride at night, definitely turn everything on. If you got an X-Needle helmet with lights on your helmet in the front and the back, turn that on, okay? Make it blink in the back, makes it more visible, okay? If you have tail lights, turn that on. If it blinks, turn that on, right? You don't want to be riding at night with no lights on, okay? Consider the side view too. I mean, just because you have a headlight and tail light, that doesn't mean the guy coming to the side of you can see you, okay? Put something on your reflectors on your wheels. You know what I'm talking about? There's reflectors that kind of spin around there. Or maybe your tires have those reflector things. Like I know the Kenda tires have that reflective stripe around the wheel. That'll help, because really when the headlight shines on that, yeah, you could see it pretty good. So yeah, make sure you have some side reflectors going on so people can see you there too, okay? All right, so what else can we be careful of when we're riding that we may not be a good idea to ride? Don't ride in the rain. People always ask me, is it rain proof? Is it waterproof? Okay, these bikes can handle a little bit of drizzle, but downright pouring of rain, yeah, it's not good for your displays. Yeah, the display could get wet and really mess up. The controller can get wet. The battery can get wet. Okay, so yeah, I don't recommend riding in the rain. I mean, if you're caught in the rain, you have no option, okay? I've been caught in the rain 4 times this year. I'm not kidding. I said, oh, it's drizzling. Oh no. And the next thing you know, it's downright pouring on you. You have no option at that point, but don't go riding in the rain purposely, because I know people will say, let's try it. Don't do that. That's not safe, okay? What about winter riding? Yeah, don't do it unless you have to. All right, there are people who like to ride in the snow. Okay. It's up to you, but maybe put some chains on the bike tires, you know, some studs, something, you know, get yourself a little bit of traction. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that, especially as I'm getting older and, you know, I have bad knee and everything. I don't take that risk. I told one of my viewers recently, he says, yeah, I don't risk my life for stuff like that. I don't take that kind of gamble. Why should I take that gamble? I mean, I know there's YouTubers who will do anything for a view. Not me. Not me. I don't take that kind of gamble. I weigh out the stuff and say, it's not worth it. I'm not doing it. Yeah, it's true. It's like today. I could go out there and make a video just because I need a video for you. Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's just, I'm not going to do it. It's just the way I am. And I think it'd be smarter if people would heed those things that you know that's going to be a problem for you. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do that stuff. Don't ride the streets. You know, I always ride the streets, right? I kind of liked riding the streets. Somebody said, you're promoting people to ride on the streets. No, I'm not promoting you to ride on the street. I'm just telling you I like riding on the street, okay? But I'll tell you that it is a little scary sometimes. Cars come right by you. Sometimes they don't give you any space. Yeah, you got to be careful when you ride on the street. So if you're not familiar with riding on the street and you want to try it, ride on some side streets first. Get used to it, okay? Don't go right out on the 40-mile, 50-mile-an-hour speed zone and start out riding on your bike on the street. Don't do that. That'd be crazy. I still don't even do that. I try my best to get off of those streets. Sometimes I'm forced on it. Sometimes it happens. I can't get out of there. I mean, I have to go someplace. I have to take that one street to get to one part of the path. Then I have no option, right? But when I have an option, I take the easier route. I don't take the heavily driven roads. That's not smart to do. Okay, don't get on the highway. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, you got to use some common sense. I mean, come on. If you're my age, you're old enough to know better. That's how I see it. Yeah, take that wisdom. Don't go crazy and just do something because somebody dared you to do it or something. Oh, speaking of dares, somebody recently said, what are you, chicken? You don't like being called chicken? I told him, this is not Back to the Future, okay? This is not Marty McFly who doesn't like being called chicken. No, it's just common sense. Don't do stuff that you don't have to do, okay? It's not worth it. None of that stuff is worth it. Your life is not worth taking gambles like that. Yeah, take it easy. Take it the easiest route you can. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's enough for today. I just want to come out with a video, let you know why I'm not out riding today. I'm not going to be riding tomorrow either. I mean, I think our high today hit about 100. Yeah, and I think tomorrow's just going to be just as bad. So, yeah, I'm not going out, all right? We may have a video tomorrow, maybe the same kind of format like this, where I'm just going to sit here and talk to you. But like I've said in the past, it's more about what we talk about, more so than the riding. I mean, the riding is nice to see. You can see the riding in the back behind me here. But it's not the most important thing sometimes. Sometimes just being able to talk and converse a little bit about our experiences with our bikes and our lives in general. Maybe sometimes that's more important than actually going out there and riding. Anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much. We have passed 16,000 subscribers. Thank you. Now we're going for 17,000. I'll talk to you guys next time.